Hello everyone. Okay, so what we're making today is a fruit pizza. Super simple but super delicious. So what we're gonna need is some sugar cookie dough. This one is 6.5 ounces. We're gonna need some butter. We're gonna need some cream cheese. I have 3 kiwis here. I have a 6-ounce package of raspberries. I have 1 pint of blueberries. And then I have 16 ounces of strawberries. We're gonna need some powdered sugar, a can of mandarin oranges, some apricot preserves, vanilla extract, and a little bit of salt. We want our cream cheese and butter to get to room temperature. I'm gonna be using 4 tablespoons of this butter. I will be using an 8-ounce package of the cream cheese, and then I'm going to cook the cookie dough according to the back of this package. You can make your own sugar cookie dough if you'd like. You can absolutely do that. I'm going to be using a pizza pan lined with parchment paper. So I'm going to be rolling mine out or pressing it out into a circle around that pizza pan. You can absolutely do this as a rectangle if you'd like, or if you don't have a pizza pan, you can use a regular baking sheet and then just press it out into a circle as best you can. So what I'm going to start off doing is I'm going to cut my parchment paper to fit it on my pizza pan. I'm going to preheat my oven, and then once I get it pressed out into my pan, I'll show you what it looks like. While the dough is baking, I'm going to go ahead and start washing off all of my fruit and then getting it sliced up. The mandarin oranges we're just going to drain really well, and then I'm going to lay them on a paper towel to collect any excess. Once I get the dough onto my pizza pan, I will show you what it looks like before I get it into the oven. Okay, I got my cookie dough all spread out onto my pizza pan lined with parchment paper. Now, the back of my package of the cookie dough says to bake at 350 degrees or 325 degrees if you have a non-stick pan. Because I'm using parchment paper, I'm baking this at 325 degrees, and we're gonna bake it anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. We wanna make sure the edges are golden brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven, set my timer. Once it is ready, we're gonna pull it out and we're gonna stick it on a cooling rack because we want this to be completely cooled before we icing it. So what I'm gonna do next is get this in the oven. I will be back with the measurements for our frosting. That's gonna go on the pizza. Then once I'm done that, I'll just stick that in the refrigerator and then continue to work on washing my fruit, getting it cut up, and I will be back. Okay, I just took the sugar cookie out of the oven. Now I did bake mine for 14 minutes and just until it's lightly golden around the edges like that. So I have it on a cooling rack right now, and it's gonna take a little bit. We want this to be completely cold before we put the icing on it. So I'm just gonna leave that there to hang out until it cools down. And then in this bowl, I have our 8-ounce package of cream cheese, 4 tablespoons of butter. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix this together until it's combined and fluffy. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and about 1 3/4 cup of powdered sugar. So once I get this all combined, I'm gonna just go ahead and put it back in the refrigerator until we're ready, and I'm going to continue working on my fruit. So I'll be back when we're ready for the next step. Okay, I got the butter and cream cheese creamed together. Now we're gonna add our 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and we're gonna add our salt. I'm gonna give this a quick mix. Once it's mixed together, then I'll slowly start adding my powdered sugar here. You don't wanna add it all at one time because you don't want it to explode everywhere. But I'll show you what it looks like once it's finished. Okay, our frosting is done. Now I only ended up adding 1.5 cups of the powdered sugar. I didn't want to have to add any milk to thin it out. So 1.5 cups of the powdered sugar. I'm going to just put some saran wrap over this and put it in the refrigerator until we're ready. And I'm going to continue working on cutting up the fruit. Okay, I have my fruit all cut up and I have them just laying on a paper towel to get all the excess moisture off of them. And in this bowl here, I have about 1 cup of the apricot preserves. I just put it in the microwave because it thins out a little bit. If you want to thin it out a little bit more, you can add just a tiny bit of water. I did not. I just have it sitting here because after you microwave it, it's super hot. So I'm just going to leave it sit there, but at the very end, we're just going to use our basting brush, dip it in the apricot preserves, and then just run it over the fruit. Gives it a nice glaze. So when it comes time to decorating, what you're gonna do is you're gonna first add your frosting. So I'm gonna add the frosting on, smooth it out. It doesn't have to be perfect, the fruit is on top. When it comes to decorating it, you can decorate this any way you want. And you can also use different fruits. For example, if you wanted to use grapes, you can. If you wanted to use bananas, you can. So many different options, and the designs are totally up to you. Now, I am definitely not an artist, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and spread the frosting on, and then I'm gonna start with my strawberries, and I'm just gonna start decorating it. I just wanted to show you the frosting on the pizza, and I do leave just a little bit around the edges as well. So now it's time to start decorating with the fruit. This is what we're looking like so far. And I do just kind of press the fruit down a little bit when I first put it on so that it sticks into the icing. So I'm going to continue. Okay, I finished decorating my fruit pizza. We're just going to base some of the apricot preserves over the fruit, and then it's going to give it a really nice shine. So once I do that, I'll be back. When you are adding the apricot glaze, you don't need much. You just kind of put some on the tip, and then just lightly brush it on the fruit. So once I'm finished, I'll be back to show you what it looks like. Okay, I just finished adding all of the apricot glaze. So now you're just going to put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes, and then once the 30 minutes is up, I'll bring it back out and we'll give it a taste. Okay, I let our fruit pizza set up in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. Let's give it a taste. That is so beautiful. That is absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Love it. So the fruit pizza is, you can make it anytime, but it's also perfect for, if you're going to a barbecue or a cookout. Here in the United States, we have Labor Day coming up in September. So something like this would be perfect. You can even, when you're decorating it, you could shape it as a rectangle and you can make a flag. You can even make these at Easter time, shape it into an egg and decorate it that way. Same for Thanksgiving, Christmas. You can do a lot of things with these fruit pizzas and they're absolutely delicious. Now you do want to store this in the refrigerator in an airtight container. I would eat it within 2 days max, but absolutely delicious. The leftover fruit that I had, I just put it all together, put it in a bowl, and I'll just eat it. But I hope you all enjoy this video, and if you make this fruit pizza, please let me know how you like it. But I hope you have a great day and a great rest of your week, and I will see you on the next one. Bye everyone.